Welcome back to Newlands. England's players locked in their dressing rooms away behind and below us, going through their last few moments of preparation. Earlier today, they went through their normal pre-match rituals, watched by Jim Rosenthal.
The Players' Hotel's just round the corner from Newlands. The journey only takes a couple of minutes. On board, hardly a word is spoken. England expects, and they all know it. Brian Moore, though, does manage a quick quote.
They're climbing to the Aussies in the first 20, I think.
And at last night's meeting, the players' faces once again told the story. The big test is looming. There's no room for error.
We need to be fit, fresh and ready, because usually we kick off at 3 in the afternoon. So can you take appropriate measures to make sure you're up for it? Because one bite at the cherry day tomorrow, we can't meet again on a Monday and put anything that goes wrong right.
And I've been joined in the studio here at Newlands by former England manager Jeff Cook and by former England prop Gareth Chuck. I nearly called you a lockpick, Gareth. What's your feelings about this game?
It can go either way. I think there's some vital battles. The line-out Ills against Bayfield, the back rows in of course, Andrew against Liner. It could go either way.
How will the conditions affect things, Jeff?
Well, I don't know. I think they might suit us a little bit because we've got to play well up front today. I'd like to see us play like we played against Ireland, with some good tight driving play, getting the ball in behind them and attacking their back three. And I think if we can put pressure on Gregan, it'll help.
So the England style, though, has been this year to try and expand it, move it wide, bring in the backs, the full-back and so on. The conditions probably won't help that this time.
Well, I think you've just got to use it sensibly, you know. I think you've still got to establish your territory, and you've established the pressure, especially against Australia. They're good defenders, and it'd be foolish to think we can just beat them by straightforward moves.
Up front, Gareth, who's going to be the key men for us?
I think the back row. I think the battle between Richards and Gavin. How fit is Richards? I think the line-out battle. England will rely on Bayfield to win a lot of ball, but Ills is world class, and I really don't know which way the battle's going to go. I think England might just save the forward battle.
And win the match?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think we can win today, I really do.
Let's hope so. And as the players run out onto the field, let's join our commentary team of Steve Smith and John Taylor.
Well, the big day has arrived. England know that this is make or break day. And the Australians, I can assure you, are just as nervous. Look at the tension there on Michael Liner's face. Captain for the 14th time, and he knows that this is the most important game of them all. All the England fans in town, and a very serious-looking Will Carling. He says that the boys have really focused this week and have been training incredibly well. But deep inside they feel confident. But you saw there the little hug from Tony Underwood. I think that says quite a lot about how important everyone feels this one is. I have never seen quite such tension on the faces of two teams, I don't think, ever, before a big match. Joey Morris there, almost prepared to die for his country. half there, a lot depends on him. So for England, just one change from the Grand Slam winning team at scrum half. Dewi Morris has won back that #1 spot from Kieran Bracken. Dean Richards, now the world's most capped #8, is fit despite worries about the bang he took against Western Samoa. Will Carling captains England for the 51st time. He's got 39 wins so far, what he'd give for a 40th. And the Australians, they deliberated long and hard before naming their back division. Matt Burke is at fullback, winning the vote over Matt Feeney. Damien Smith keeps out Joe Roff. Tim Horan is back in the centre with Jason Little, which is a big boost. And they've stuck with George Gregan at scrum half. In the forwards, they've gone for the tried and trusted, but Dan Crowley keeps his place at prop ahead of Tony Daly. The replacements, there we have Joe Roff, a late change on the Australian bench, and Graham Rowntree comes in for England at number 21. There's the referee, David Bishop of New Zealand. I had breakfast with him this morning, and he was saying, what more could I ask for? Two world-class, well-disciplined teams. Stephen Hilditch, one touch judge, and Colin Hawke the other. Big Dean Richards. When anyone asked him about his fitness, he says, well, I'm at least 95% fit, and that's the most I can hope for these days. All the waiting around, and Dewi Morris there, just putting in those kicks, getting in the groove, putting one up for Mike Katz so that he gets used to the swirling wind here. Seems as if we're nearly ready for the off at last. Steve, you can feel the tension. I mean, this is not just Blarney.
No, you certainly can, John. This is a big game by anybody's standards. And the way the anthems were sung, I'd say we've won the singing.
Even Jerry Guscott, normally so laid back, looking very pumped up. England to kick off. The whistle goes. And we're underway. Big tackle straight away, turning the man. England going in over the top, and they get the scrum. All the fans very well aware of what these early exchanges are going to mean.
Everything's so important in a game like this. The kick-off from Rob Andrew was absolutely on the button.
And immediately, out of that clash, Dean Richards has a cut on the head. I'm sure he'll be back, but he has to go off and get that sorted out. So we'll have a blood replacement almost straight away. Even as he's going off, not worried about himself, just leaving those last-minute instructions.
Yes, that's a blow, because it's a very good attacking position this for England, and of course Dean Richards so important in these attacking scrums.
And Australia know that they can put on the pressure against 7 men now. Ben Clark's gone into 8, and England at the moment packing down without an open side. Free kick against them, where it comes off Ngawi. And all that happened because Richards was off, I'm sure. Big tackle from Rodber on Horan. Gregan over the top. Cat inside his 22, but he can only run it into touch.
Great pity that. Dean Richards left the field, and of course England were put under pressure. Dewi Morris delayed. Free kick to Australia. Now they're back under pressure.
Steve Ajomo comes on as the blood replacement. They took a long time getting him on. It's all right down in Durban because you've got no tracksuits to get off, but down here it's a bit chilly. Dean Richards now swathed in bandages around the head, ready to get back, and now I wonder whether that counts as a blood replacement or not. Ajomo on and off, but there was no action. Richards on a penalty. The Australians being held down. So Liner gets the first chance after 2 minutes to post some points.
Incident pack so far. Here we see the offence. Barging the line out, very clear.
Yes, the offence was actually holding down Arthur Hengawi, I think. Now, Michael Liner hasn't been quite as secure as a kicker as he's been in the past. The world's record scorer, 894 points in international rugby, has a chance, obviously, to go through 900 today. Yes, he's got that one. A fairly simple chance. And Liner makes no mistake. So first blood to Australia. They lead 3 points to 0.
And a bit unlucky there for England, because goes right back to the kick-off. When England established a good attacking position, Dean Richards left the field, put themselves back under pressure, gave a penalty away, and now they're 3 points down.
Long kick out to just onto the 22. And again, good pressure from the England forwards. Gregan to Liner. No touch. Cat will run it back at them. And just run into touch by Matt Burke. Walter Little. Sorry, not Walter Little, Jason Little.
Some people may say that was a penalty, but the referee on this occasion said no.
And I think fair enough. Cat just followed through. He'd kicked. He couldn't be expected to be looking at the opposition, but he gave Jason Little a fearful wallop. Seems all right, though. Rodber with the palm. Good one, nice and accurate. Guscott coming back inside. A penalty. The Australian backs up too quickly. And that's just what England wanted. A chance to get level again within a couple of minutes. Coming up to 5 minutes gone, and Rob Andrew has the chance to level the scores.
And some people said it may be a shootout between the two number 10s. We'll soon find out. Liner's got 1 out of 1. Can Rob Andrew equal it?
Rob Andrew, now the English record scorer, had an amazing time since last March. He scored over 200 points for England since March '94. Made his debut against Romania right back in 1985. And that's good. Nice to see. But the tension hasn't got to the kickers. They kept their cool there beautifully.
Yes, it looks as though they're both in form, John. We might be in for another high-scoring game.
England 3, Australia 3. And certainly England look as if they're determined to take the game to the Australians. Good kick-off from Liner. Rodber's underneath it. Gathered in, Dewi Morris. Plenty of height on that one. Moore gets in and makes it his own. Carling in an offside position, but making sure he stays out of the play. Kick bouncing nastily for Burke. He does well, though, to gather it. Moore cleverly making sure he deflected it backwards. Moore on the charge. Morris. Andrew. Going for pressure again. It might be a shade too long, but Burke had to jump, so he couldn't mark it. And they tried to turn him around. And great disappointment from all the fans. They felt that should have been an England scrum, but it goes to Australia.
Good kick though, Rob Andrew, but you made the important point there, John. Matthew Burt had to jump for it. Once he jumped for it, he couldn't mark it. Pressure on Australia.
Was given to Australia because the fullback was tackled as he hit the ground and he didn't have a chance to move. So even though he didn't get the ball to the floor, in that situation, it still goes to the defending side. David Bishop making sure that these lines are kept well apart. Brian Moore. Up goes Martin Johnson. England getting a good drive on here. That's heartening for them. Tremendous drive from England. Richards in the thick of it as always. Now it's come. Dewi Morris down the touchline. It's a good one again. And a penalty to England. Colin Hawke just stepping in. I wonder whether he's going to say it should be reversed because Underwood tackled the fullback in the air. No, it's an Australian that he's going to talk to.
And it all came from Martin Johnson rubbing the Australian throw. It's so important today that Martin Johnson has a big game to support Bayfield in the middle of the line out.
And it was Rod McCall, Slaughter McCall as he's known to his teammates, who gets the warning. So Rob Andrew at the end of all that has a chance to put England into the lead. 6 or 7 metres in from the right touchline. The most difficult kick for him, because a right-footed kicker will always tend to draw the ball just a shade across the posts. It's curling, but it's in there. Beautiful kick. Tremendous kick from Rob Andrew. And it's so important that you punish the Australians when they make mistakes. So far, England are doing just that. England 6, Australia 3.
They certainly are, and great kick, Rob Andrew. If they can take this kick off now like the last one, they'll be in good shape.
Johnson under it. Little knock forward, scrum down Australia.
So important these kickoffs, aren't they, John, in these high-scoring games? You've got to take your own kickoffs if you can, because if you don't, what happens now? You're under pressure again straight away.
And the Australian scrum just buckling a shade there. 10 minutes gone. David Wilson breaks off. Gavin tucking it inside. Good tackle on Offa Hengawi though. Back to lineup. It's a good kick. Cat coming forward, takes it wonderfully. And the England forwards were so quickly in on him. He's got all the support he needs. That's encouraging. And away to touch.
Well played, Mike Cat. That was a real pressure catch. He kept telling us all season Johnny couldn't take these high balls. I've not seen him drop one yet.
Mike Cat, born in Port Elizabeth, but he has an English mother, and he came over to Bath on holiday, decided he liked it so much, he's made himself an Englishman. Phil Kearns, the Australian hooker and vice-captain. McCall gets the palm, but Moore is through like a shot to catch Gregan. England have it. Andrew hoists it into the Australian half. Carling goes up for it. Little got a hand in there. But England have it again. Ben Clark. Now he needs a lot of support quickly. He gets it. Cat putting it into the 22. Well done, Matt Burke. That was risky. The Australian fullback just tapping the ball up to himself. So nearly a knock-on, but in the end he made a good touch back in the England half.
Did very well there, Matt Burke. A lot of skill. But the England line-out, very, very important at the moment. They do well in the line-out, and they are doing. One of the areas the Australians let themselves down against South Africa was bad tap ball, and we've seen 2 today already.
Dan Crowley, the prop up the front. Martin Johnson takes it two-handed. Great catch. Again, they're trying to get that drive going. They've got control. Jason Lemon swinging it round. Back it comes to Morris. Up goes the kick again. Dropping outside the 22. Burke does well to take it, but the ball swinging loose. Gregan looking for cover. Tackled again. Rob Andrew getting in the tackles. All the England players lining up. Almost feels as if they got a tackle cap. Richards somehow back there in the right place on the right wing. Steaming up after Cat. Little knock on, so it'll be an England scrum. Good position just outside the 22.
Great play, England forwards. I really get the impression they're really pumped up. And the England forwards are putting a little grip in this game that's so important.
Dean Richards, he's got this intuition that's absolutely uncanny. I don't know what he was doing there, but there he was once again in the right place at the right time.
Yes, the ball goes to him. He doesn't go to the ball.
Pick up from Richards. The little chip down to the corner. Tony Underwood's up. And that's a touch about 5 metres out.
Good vision, Dowie Morris. You can see there's nothing on with the pass. There was a big gap at the back, and Dowie exploited it. And that's why he's wearing the number 9 shirt today instead of Kieran Bracken.
Dowie Morris, one of the very, very few Welshmen still enjoying himself here in South Africa. There he is, born in Crickhowell, but he didn't make the breakthrough into top-grade rugby until he'd been resident in England for a few years, and so he decided that's where his future was. Great catch again by England at the front. On goes the drive, the crowd roaring them on, and they've got a swing on it. It's got to come back now this time. Rodvan. There it comes. Dowie Morris round the blind side. Oh, well spotted. Nowhere to go round there.
Well defended, Australia. Big catch by Martin Johnson again. He's having a big game for England so far. They can just steal this one and keep the pressure on.
Coming up to 15 minutes gone. Phil Kearns. There's John Eales, but attempt it was coming through. Penalty against England. Martin Bayfield there getting the first hand to it. But England just a bit too eager that time, but being penalised. Clearance takes them just outside the 22. Brian Moore, I think just trying to break the Australian line-out signals. They get it back, but it's not good again. Gregan smothered. England goes straight over the top of him. And they get the scrum.
And again we saw it, Martin Johnson just got a hand on it. They're winning plenty of Australian ball at the Australian throw-in, and normally that doesn't happen, John. Normally the Australians secure their own ball all the time.
Early days yet, but the Australians at the moment certainly second best in the line-out. John Eales, a tremendous athlete, their second jumper. But, it's not often that he's so much shorter. Through on the charge. Can the forwards keep it going? Brian Moore sets it up. Carling just making that vital first couple of yards. Rob Andrew, and he screws it wide.
What a pity. Great forward play. Wonderful driving, laying the ball back, ball retention. Great driving by the England forwards. Ben Clark, the last to set it up. Rob right to go for the drop goal. He doesn't often miss those.
Now he snatched at it a bit, and you could see the ball spinning as if it was a torpedo kick. Cat running it back at them. Back to the Australian 22. Burke. Down just inside the 10-metre line. Campese coming into the fly half spot. Lovely little kick over the top and into the England 22.
First time we've seen the great man If he carries on like that, that'll be worrying for England.
It's lost an edge of pace, but in the World Cup warm-up matches, the build-up test that Australia played, he got into the game more than he's ever got into it before. In one match, touched the ball an amazing 41 times. That's quite incredible for a winger.
It certainly is. Almost a scrum half tactic, that, isn't it?
Tim Rodber looking very pumped up. Australia have it, a little knock forward there by England, but advantage to Australia at the moment. Back it comes, line up, Little trying to get the ball away. The big winger Smith in there in the middle too. Here it comes. Nice little complete swivel by Liner there, fooling England into thinking he was going to pass inside. Scrum. Shrill blast from David Bishop, and you could feel the intake of breath from all the England fans, but it was a scrum, not a penalty.
Yes, well spotted, John. I thought, one second I thought he'd given the penalty away right in front of the post, but you notice both midfields are really, really tight. There's no room to go through the middle there, either the Australian or the England defence. Very, very tight in midfield.
Dean Richards just needing repairs to the head bandage, and Jason Leonard there in a spot of bother. He's obviously got a bang just on the side of the knee. But so much going on, he's got to wait his turn for attention. Kevin Murphy occupied with the England number 8.
Yes, even the great Kevin Murphy can only treat one person at a time, can't he?
Oh, I think Leonard's given up, has treated himself. Gregan. Down goes the scrum. The referee resets it.
Amazing. Dean Richards hasn't even gone into the scrum. He's marking the blind side. Could put pressure on his front five, that.
But it shows how confident they are too. Horan putting it out to Gregan. The kick smothered. Well-worked little move. Eales trying to scramble away. Back it comes. Little on the hoop. The little mistake. Jerry has got outside. Away to Tony Underwood. Underwood away. Can Damien Smith get him? No, he can't. Tony Underwood, confident all the way that he was going to go into the corner. Holding off the tackle from Damien Smith. And tremendous presence there from Rob Andrew at the other end. A lot of people would have kicked that away. Instead, England choosing to counter-attack.
Well, I told you the midfield would be tight, and they were really tight here. The Australians trying to move the ball. There's nowhere for them to go. Liner, unforced error, and great vision by Rob Andrew. The length of the field. And after this, it was a foot race. And it was a great foot race. Tony Underwood, would he make it? People behind him, Mike Catt saying, "Go on, my son." He thinks he's at the races. And well done, Tony Underwood. Great determination. What a fantastic score for England.
Yes, he always had the edge. And look at the triumph in that gesture. And the kick's over too. Tremendous blow struck for England there. There they were, under huge pressure in defence, and at the end of it, they increased their lead to 13-3.
Yes, it's even nicer when you get a score from deep in your own half like that.
The long kick out, Dowie Morris. But he marked it. I think he's saying he didn't. But he's going to be given the mark.
He's a bit annoyed there, Dowie, because his kick to touch was a beauty. He's going to do it again now.
Doesn't find touch. Burke puts it up. Ben Clark underneath it. Doesn't want to release it, but again, I think he's given the mark.
I know Jack Rowell was very keen to emphasise the importance of the first 20 minutes and the start. England must have a good start, and what better start than there's 22 minutes gone, they've got a 10-point lead.
Clark just tapping it to himself and thankfully getting the ball away to Rob Andrew. Handling it like a hot potato. Although with the stats so far, hardly 80-25, but 80-20 will do.
It's 105% there by my sums.
It's time to come to the back. Eales was down the back for them. Clark got the first touch, but Australia have it. It's held and England get the scrum. They couldn't get the ball to the floor.
England have been so good in those close phases. Ben Clark, Dean Richards, Tim Rodber do an awful lot of work in there that's unseen. And they get the turnover, and it's very important that they get the feed which they've got.
Kick not so good this time from Dewi Morris. But England come up with it, that's the important thing. On goes the drive, and that's a much better ball. Carling this time, trying to put it behind Kempesi. Kempesi looking for something, a lovely little chip through into space. Cat though comes screaming past him. Chip and run. Liner has to jump. Dewi Morris in there. Penalty because he held on, Liner clinging onto the ball, but he realised he hadn't got support and Dewi Morris was about to take it off him.
Good play again though, Mike Catt. Took a very awkward ball at full rattle. 30-40 metres and put up another good kick. The attacking kicks by England have been absolutely excellent because the Australians have not been able to mark them in their own 22. They've either been landing outside the 22 or they've been so high the Australians have got to jump for the ball. Once they jump for the ball, as we see here with Michael Liner, he can't mark it now, therefore he's fair game to be tackled. The England defence up so tenaciously. Liner holds onto the ball, penalty to England.
Rob Andrew on the 5 metres line just outside the 22, as you can see, so no problem length, quite an acute angle. Nothing going right for the Australians at the moment. They're under the cosh, but they're a quality side, and England know that they're going to come back at them. Amazing percentage there. The Rugby World Cup overall percentage for Rob Andrew, 83% success rate. No, didn't hit that one cleanly at all. Almost appeared again to snatch at it just a bit. But England still with a 10-point lead. Mike Catt. Again, hoisting it high to outside the 22. Burke comes up. Everybody's in. Richards tries to turn him over. Scrum goes to Australia.
And again, so important, those kicks have plenty of height, so the defence, we saw the game the other day, Ireland against Wales, it was almost like aerial ping-pong, poor kicking from both sides, but this is excellent kicking from England, kicking the ball back to the Australians, putting them under pressure.
And Dean Richards' headband is coming apart again. The Australian fans all booing at the stop yet again, but he's got to get that secure. Remember, still to come, Scotland versus the All Blacks, and if it's half as exciting as this is so far, you're in for a wonderful match.
We certainly are. This is riveting stuff.
Gregan to Liner. Good touch from the Australian skipper.
Speaking to David Aldridge before the game, the kicking coach, he was saying to the England boys how difficult it was with the swirling wind in this stadium. But I think England have certainly maximised whatever advantage they've had in this first half, and if they can kick half as well in the second half, they'll be well pleased.
Martin Johnson against John Eales. Eales is further back against Bayfield. Johnson, penalty, closing and going through the England line. And even that will be just a shade disheartening to Australia and encouraging to England. The Australian jumpers having to resort to anything to try and get their share of the ball.
That's right, John. Under so much pressure, you've got to resort to a bit of skullduggery to get the ball back, and Mr. Bishop's well on the ball.
Rodber with the tap. Dewi Morris. Ben Clark, but that was a bit of a mess-up, and England, in fact, penalised for obstruction. Unintentional obstruction. Accidental offside. Regan loses it to Morris. The referee happy that it didn't go forward. Paisley with the kick. Cat can't hold it. It's a wicked kick to take. His first mistake.
It was a pity as well, because Dewi Morris is really hounding Gregan at the back of these scrums. Gregan, who had a very poor opening first game, Dewi Morris is living right on top of him. He knows he's around, believe you me.
Regan well protected that time. Line up, Horan gets it wide to Little, but again they mess it up.
So uncharacteristic of the Australian backs, because if that had gone to hand, they had created an overlap in midfield. And luckily for England, and much to the disgust of the Australian forwards, the ball once again went down in midfield. I think it's all about pressure.
Jason Little and Tim Horan back together in the centre. One of the great centre combinations normally in international rugby. So he backs as the referee. And Andrew doesn't find touch. Burke chips it up the touch line. And he does.
Just a slight lull in proceedings, John, I think. It's been electric for the first half hour. I think both teams just taking a breath here.
Yes, but very important that England don't let the pressure drop. And David Bishop sending Dean Richards off to get that wound redressed. And let's hope that Steve Ajomo is ready to come on this time.
Yes, I was about to say, I can't believe that Steve Ajomo was sat in the stand with his tracksuit on. Oh, there he is. He was ready for it. Good lad.
Richards has to get that wound dressed. They won't allow him on the field even if there's blood just seeping through the bandage.
Hold your line, goal.
Until he gets back, it's very important that England keep that stranglehold. On the peel there, Ubogu. Ben Clark going through the midfield, making 5 metres. Back comes the ball. Oh, and the pass not meant for Martin Bayfield, I don't think at all. Dave Bishop putting his hands up, saying, sorry, I didn't think it was coming.
It was a pity. Martin Bayfield shouldn't have been there, really. He's there to win line-out ball. Leave the driving play to the back row forwards.
Back inside to Offing Gowie, but Dewi Morris followed him all the way around the scrum and collared him from behind. Penalty against Brian Moore. He looks perplexed, and Liner will go for goal.
Oh, and that was a silly penalty by Brian Moore. He's got him coming in from round the back foot, coming in from the side. You may as well shake your head, Brian, but it was a silly one because, as you said, John, Dowie Morris has done a fantastic job once again in defence. He's living in George Gregan's jock trap at the moment, and Gregan can't go anywhere.
Michael Liner from about 44 metres. It's pretty straight, and you've got to say you'd expect him to kick this one. 33 minutes gone. Jack Rowell has just reappeared from the mouth of the tunnel. He'd obviously been to check on the seriousness of Richards. And it went wide of the left post. Just what England needed to get away with. It's a big miss for Australia.
You took the words right out of my mouth, John. I was about to say it. That was a very, very big miss. Australia needed that one.
Lovely movement, getting something moving. Now they've got space. Carling through the middle. Trying to get the pass away. Wonderfully picked up by Tony Underwood. Morris going the wrong way, but now they've got space. Carling putting it to the corner. It won't go dead. Great kick from Campese, though.
Two old rivals there, Campo and Carling. Carling did a beautiful kick, but Campo replied, I think, with a bit of interest.
Yes, I just wonder whether Will Carling might have spun that ball out. In fact, he looks a bit disgusted with himself. I don't think he realised he had the support there that he did.
Yes, I thought so. He had at least two men outside him, and of course with Underwood on the left wing, you've got plenty of pace there as well.
More to Rodber. Nasty one that for Morris. He does well though. Guscott gets past Liner and sets it up to Carling. He just pushes it into the 22. Campese again will be looking for one of these torpedo kicks. Rob Andrew can't do anything about it.
And that's 3 times Will Carling's kicked to Campese. I think this is getting personal.
.35 gone. Big Rod McCall, Victor Ubogu, already feeling the strain. Moore with the line out. Johnson up. And the throw wasn't quite straight. And that's only a little mistake, but a bad one because it gives possession away and England don't need any help. Round to offer Hengawi. Gets in a big bash that time, but his own man was in front of him. And it was Gavin who hit Dowie Morris. And that hurt.
There lies a wounded hero, because once again Dowie Morris, he was really at them. Australians famous for these back row moves that they do, but Dowie Morris in the back row defence is very, very well organised. In the end, all the Australians could do was run into each other, as we see here, and that is accidental offside. Scrum down, England put him.
Morris there tackling the man in front of the ball carrier because he couldn't get to the ball carrier, and that's just a big bang on the shin. Kieran Bracken there just stripping off in case, but I think it would probably take a forklift truck to get Dowie Morris off the field today.
You never know, he might even roll his soccer belt to this one. No, he's not.
That does look painful. And the front rows come up. England have got to concentrate in these scrums. This is where they miss Dean Richards, Steve.
Absolutely. This is just lack of concentration, because the English scrum so far has been very, very solid.
And they've got one against the head. Morris again, chasing Gregan. Gets him, but inside the 22. Back it goes to Campese. And he kicks it into the in goal. Cat touches it down. Well done again, Mike Cat.
What was Campo doing there? I don't know. I thought he had a great opportunity to run in England, but he didn't. He put the high ball up to test Mike Cat, and once again, Mike Cat was equal to it.
If it had been a couple of inches short, mind Steve, it would have been a wicked, wicked kick. And they're worried about Dewi Morris. Kieran Bracken still warming up on the touchline. Morris is really struggling. Tim Gavin. And just puts a heel into touch. Stephen Hilditch points it out. Hilditch, and there it is. England get the line out. Richards back on, Ajomo off. Line out to Little. Again, people queuing up to tackle him. Reagan. Chip through to Cat. And he marks it. Well done again, the fullback. Very safe under that.
It was very well done, because he must have been tempted to jump for the ball, and he didn't. By staying on the ground, he can mark it, and therefore he can relieve the pressure.
There beside him, Dean Richards has 6 stitches in the head wound, but they've closed it up properly this time. Straight down the middle of the forehead.
Dino, they could put a zip in there and it'd make no difference to him, would it, John?
Dewi Morris taking up the hooker's position. Ben Clark, the scrum halves. Well taken, Clark. Richards that time thumped back. We're over the 40 minutes. Tremendous start by England. It's all become very, very tight. They're defending beautifully at the moment. It's now important that they see this last few seconds into half-time without conceding anything. Comes out the side. Gregan looking for a way through. Wrapped up. A penalty against Rory Underwood, I think, for being offside. And here, right on the stroke of half-time, another chance for Liner.
Yes, and that's a pity. Again, another silly penalty, I think, because England had certainly wrapped up Greg and there was no danger there.
On second thoughts, I think that must have been against Richards or Rodber because of where he's given the penalty.
Yes, it was against Dean Richards, John. But I thought that Dino certainly thought the ball had come out quickly. That's why he came forward, so maybe a little bit harsh.
Liner, a World Cup record of 69% success rate. Not a difficult one by his standards. And it's over. No mistake that time. Right on the stroke of half-time. David Bishop looking at his watch. And he's not whistling, so he's obviously decided there's time to kick off. Good drop out. And that could have been a penalty to England. Australians obstructing men trying to get to the ball, or it went behind to Eales. Australians with the big drive this time. Scrum to Australia. round there to try and tap Gregan's heels. Horan coming back inside, almost wriggling free. Lays it back. Mistimed run there from Opa Hengawi. That was where the pass was meant to go. And Mike Catt puts it high into the stands. It's half-time. The scoreline, England 13, Australia 6.
Welcome back to Newlands. England's players preparing for the most important half of rugby of their lives. There's the try scorer Tony Underwood, who keeps the teams apart. They're leading the world champions by 13 points to 6 thanks to that try from Tony Underwood. This could be the longest 40 minutes of their lives. If they can hold on, a place in the World Cup semi-final is theirs. And handing you over to your commentators now, John Taylor and Steve Smith.
Well, everything to play for still. Just that try and the conversion separating the two teams. And I noticed there, Steve Smith, that Jack Rowell went onto the pitch and talked to those players more than I've ever seen him at half-time before.
I think he'd be saying, John, just carry on playing the way you're playing.
And take the game to the Australians. That's what they've got to do. Johnson knocked back by Uvogu, but there was a little tap forward. And Australia have the scrum.
Just got the impression last 10 minutes of the first half, England just eased off slightly. What they've got to do is go back to the way they were playing for the first 30 minutes.
Yes, they're at their best when they're going flat out. They mustn't stop and try to contain people. Line up, hoisting it to the corner for Campese. Sorry, for Smith. Oh, and a great take, and a try! Damien Smith leaping high above them. It was a great kick from Liner. And exactly the start to the second half that England did not need.
And this is why they're world champions. Straight away Australia come back. Beautiful kick from Michael Liner. Bit of confusion between Catt and Tony Underwood. But a very, very difficult kick and a brilliant take. We have to put that one down to the attacking.
And suddenly, all the half-time talking has worked for the Australians, and it's put England on the back foot. Jack Rowell was apparently telling the team, come on, we've gone off the boil. Now they know they've gone off the boil.
Yes, we certainly got that impression up here, John, that the last 10 minutes we just had a lead and we sat on it. And now they're paying dearly for that, because it's just what they didn't want was a try within a minute of the second half. It's all on now, believe you me.
Great catch from Damien Smith. Can Liner make the conversion? Yes, he can. And Australia back level. 13 points all. And psychologically, it's the Australian tails which are up at the moment. The Wallaby tails up, and England have got to seize the initiative back quickly. Cairns driven into his own 22. Back it comes. Gregan to Campese. Left-footed, but a penalty for offside. So Australia will get a chance to put in a much better, longer touch kick than that. Campese again. And he misses touch. Rory Underwood. Got much more power than people think. Out to Rob Andrew, putting it wide. And that's rolling just as he would have wanted.
What was Campese thinking about with that penalty? All he had to do was put it down 20-30 metres with the Australian throw, and the pressure was back on England. He missed his touch. Rory Underwood fielded it, and Rob Andrew has now just reversed the pressure situation.
13 all. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Campese not at his sizzling best, certainly in this tournament. It's a bad tap again. Australia trying to rescue it, they do. Liner this time gets the kick away, but not outside the 22.
Good pressure, England back row. Keeps the game down here. It's now England's throw. They've got plenty of options in that line-out. Plenty of tall men there. The best ball for the scrum half and the backs is always middle and the back.
Well, the Australians haven't put anyone back. It's the palm from Martin Bayfield, though, this time. To Carling. Carling gets through one tackle. He's looking for support. Now it's there. Joey Morris saying, go on, drive it. And the England forwards getting a roll. There they go again. They've spun off this side. Big John Eales getting in the back to halt it, so they go the other way. It's a tremendous surge from England. Now it's got to come back. Penalty for pulling down the maul from that close to the line. It could have even been a penalty try. But David Bishop decides on a penalty. Joey Morris is angry with him because he thinks they still had the advantage and we're still going.
Yes, I think a penalty try would have been a bit harsh, but he certainly could have played advantage because the ball came out and the England backs were queuing up on the left. He was a bit hard, a bit early with his whistle there for me, David Bishop.
Good break through the midfield from Will Carling started that one. Rob Andrew puts the kick between the posts. And England are back in the lead. 5 minutes gone in the second half.
And that's so much better. They've got to take the game to the Australians. They are world champions. You cannot sit back in the lead. England must get back that momentum they had in the first half.
16-13 to England. Rob Andrew underneath it. Gets the kick back almost to the 10-metre line. Little George Gregan there behind the Australian line-out, learning what international rugby is all about. He had a tremendous first few games for Australia, but this really tough. Well, McCall getting nice palm that time. Wilson trying to go through the middle off Horan's little pass. Out it comes to Gregan. Back again. And a penalty against England for offside, defending at that ruck.
That is so foolish. They've no need to do it. The numbers were all covered. The defence is tight. Why they're stepping offside and giving away 3 points, I just don't know. You can see here, England backs queuing up this side, all offside. He could have picked 2 or 3.
Martin Johnson coming round the side of that maul. They've got to keep their heads. The pressure's enormous, and Liner now with an easy chance. And it's over. A little doubt for a moment. But it slid inside the left-hand post and the score's level again. Up go the Australian flags this time, 16 all.
Well, nobody ever said it was going to be easy. This is a real thriller.
England trying to get through on the capture. Australia getting the drive back. Off the side comes Ewan McKenzie, and a penalty to Australia. And again, touch is missed. Campese kicking like a donkey. And Campese suddenly trying to leap into action. He's got himself into trouble. Back goes Burke. And England come up with the line out halfway into the Australian half.
Campese, what is he doing? Second time he's missed a crucial penalty kick to touch. If I was Michael Lynagh, I think I'd be taking the ball myself and banging it into touch.
Tim Gavin, as the ball comes over the top of everybody. And Johnson down again for coming round the side. He's trying to claim he came through the middle. There you can see him gesturing quite clearly that he thought he'd just driven straight through to that position.
Everybody thinks it's irrelevant. What England have got to do is get together. And they've got to stop this penalty count because it's building against them quite considerably.
Lynagh at least getting the ball into touch, but again, no length on that kick. Look how tight it was in the first half, and that possession in the second half, all Australia's way. Eales getting it off the top of the back. Back inside to Hengawi. Good tackle from Richards. Room on the right. Lynagh just pushing it through. And England have got to tidy that one up quickly. And they've done well. Charge down though. Cat into touch. And a penalty to England for offside. The referee's picked up back on the 22, so the panic over for the moment.
Yes, they needed that one from David Bishop because there were all sorts of pressure there, but Bishop for once gave it England's way, and that's relieved it.
Dean Richards in the wars again. And Rob Andrew takes play up to halfway. It's not the same injury. I think this is his hand that's troubling him. Shoulder, in fact. He took a bang on that in the Western Samoan game. Let's hope that he's not sprung something there. Good take by Bayfield up the front this time. England, they want to roll it off infield, not towards touch. They're going to make use of this ball. Back it comes. Jason Leonard puts it back well. Andrew. Guscott and Carling are there. Guscott. Little knock forward by Australia, so England have the scrum.
That's so much better. Getting back to the pattern of the first half. Good line-out ball, one from Bayfield. Andrew putting up another good high kick. All the chasers underneath it. And that's an England put in about 40 metres out.
Jason Leonard now needing attention. It's he who set up the ruck that gave England the good ball. Dean Richards is in trouble with that shoulder, but he obviously intends to stay out there.
We saw it, beautiful kick from Rob Andrew. All the catches underneath it, just not quite going England's way, but they get the knock on, so they put it.
Richards has it. Rodber. Back it comes to Morris, out wide. Carling looking for space. Brian Moore trying to get round the outside. Leonard there. Back again, Dowie Morris. Ben Clark hasn't got any support. And they whistle it up. He couldn't get that down. Really the wrong option there. England should have gone open to their backs.
Yes, they should, but well played, Damien Smith. It's the first time I've really seen this guy play on this tournament, and he looks a very, very good player indeed to me. That was a great try he scored there, and that was a good tackle on Ben Clark.
Very big, strong winger, 6'3", nearly 15 stone. Regan to Lynagh. Andrew going through hard on him. Mike Catt takes it again really well. because although he didn't get the ball down, he was tackled as he landed. The scrum goes to England.
England certainly owe a debt to this young man. He's taken everything all afternoon. Once again, there he is, safe as houses.
Back to Andrew. Up goes the kick. England have it. And Carling did well there. Just about to try and getting it wide to Gascott. And Rory Underwood can't hold the pass. What a pity.
A pity indeed, because Mike Catt had looped outside. Jerry Guscott, if he just popped it up to Catt, they would have had a 2 against 1. He went for the long option. Threw out the wide ball. Here's Carling, did so well to lay this ball back. Good ankle tap by Michael Liner. Set the ruck up, and from here they span it wide. And just for a minute, I thought a little chink in the Australian armour.
Richards dropping back, knowing the kick was coming. Catt is under it. Down into the tram lines at the side of the pitch. Line out, running it back. Rory Underwood takes that one. Wriggles free of the first tackle. Rodber. Oh, driven back by Kearns. But he did well, he held on, and he's been able to set it up again. Rob Andrew. The defence all organised, so up goes the kick. Burke does well, coming up with the ball second time. Reagan line up. Little trying to wriggle out. Back inside to Ofahengawi. Kearns. Penalty. England just killing the ball there. And Michael Liner deciding it's just out of his range. He had a long, hard look at the posts. Stead puts a lovely kick into the 22, and Australia will have the line out.
Good decision, Michael Liner. He had a good hard look at that, just realised it was out of his range. Instead, he's put pressure back on England. Australia throw.
England conceding almost double the number of penalties, the Australians. John Eales has gone back to last but one in the line out. Martin Bayfield's gone back to mark him. But Eales is a tremendous athlete. And in the open spaces, it doesn't go to the Mike. In any case, it goes to McCall. He comes up with it. Liner. And the referee getting in the way. Scrum to Australia.
Yes, the midfield defences are tight enough without the referee being in there.
Australia getting the push on, holding it in there. Dean Richards is out. Great little... And he's penalised Dowie Morris. Morris cannot believe it.
Well, Dowie Morris can't believe it, and neither can I. It looked to me for all the world as though the ball was out. Morris has been hounding him all afternoon. That's out of the scrum. That was not a penalty.
I think he probably did him actually for offside. It was almost behind Gregan.
Either way, that was wrong as well.
So Michael Lynott with a chance to put Australia back in the lead. They led 3-0, and they haven't led since then, since Andrew equalised the scores in the 5th minute, but a fairly simple chance. Yeah, and that goes through the middle too. Crucial times for England, coming up to midway through the second half, and they fall behind exactly when they didn't want to. Maybe a harsh penalty, but England have now got to respond and respond quickly.
They certainly have. They've got to bounce back straight away.
And a penalty for obstruction. That time he gets them. The front rank of Australian forwards just obstructing the English players trying to get to the ball.
Oh, we said straight away, John, they certainly obliged, didn't they? All he's got to do now is kick it over. Quite right, mass ranks of Australians in front of the jumper. That is illegal. Tim Rodber can't get there, and the decision was a correct one.
Again, the stadium goes still. This is a big one for Rob Andrew. He really must put this over. Cool as ice. Great strike again from Rob Andrew. Ever since he changed his kicking style and really started to practice, he's been magnificently reliable. 19 all. Rodber. England have it. Good kick from Rob Andrew. Up to halfway.
What a game, what tension, what drama. You can't help thinking, John, there's a few more twists in this tale yet.
And a penalty against Rodber, a high tackle on Gregan. Lynott finds touch safely, and it's Australia back with the initiative. It's all a bit bitty.
This is so tense, it's so tight. England must stop giving away these penalties. It's keeping the Australians in the game. They've got to get back to that flowing, explosive momentum they had in the first 30 minutes.
19 all. The cries of England, England ringing out, trying to lift the team. Well, that was an outside arm tap, but the referee hasn't spotted it. Smith trying to go through the middle. Carling brings him down. Wide to Campese. And the knock on. Well, the referee didn't seem to spot that, and he's allowed the line out to stand.
Yes, Mr. Bishop, this is one or two important things here. In a game of this tenseness, I don't want the people back home are thinking, but as tense as can be, and it's got to be the closest game of the World Cup easily.
Into the last quarter, and if the scores stay level, we go into extra time. England losing it there at the front, even though they got the touch. Bundled over again, but laid back well. Lynott trying to get it wide. Horan, Smith almost getting through. And a penalty, holding on. And David Bishop is not England's favourite referee at the moment.
Now, the England team are going absolutely bereft out there. They couldn't believe that decision.
Well, both the kickers have got 14 points each at the moment. Now Liner, another chance, almost exactly the same spot as the last one.
And the defence nice and tight, but here's what he's penalised Tim Rugby there for lying over the ball. Bodies piling in from both sides, but he's picked out Rugby.
Rugby has had a tremendous game, using that great strength and his power in running as well. 7 penalties conceded by England in their own half. And Liner punishes it again, absolutely dissecting the uprights. Really found his kicking form. England just cannot afford to give away anything in kickable range. Coming up to 25 minutes gone. Cairns, the Australian hooker. Off a Hengawi. Reagan over the top for Campese. Forward comes Cat. Again, not only does he leap and take it, but he gets his back turned to get the ball on the England side. Here they go. In goes the drive. They're nearly up to halfway. Penalty England. Eels round, and he's gone back halfway for it. I'm sure that Rob Andrew will have a go. Joining in on the side of the ball, that was again, instead of getting in behind the hindmost foot.
Yes, great drive by the England forwards, but the crucial thing here is David Bishop's taken them back to the original incident, which is really testing Rob Andrew's range here, John. I'm not quite sure he's got this from the halfway. What do you think?
The way he's striking the ball, I think he'll get the length. The only problem is that when you go for that extra bit of length, you sometimes just lose a shade of accuracy.
Well, you were a goal kicker, I'll take your word for it.
Crouch. Yeah, he's got the distance, but he's pushed it wide. Campese, and this time he strikes the ball cleanly, brings play back to the 10-metre line. That would really turn this would be a try for either side at this stage. John Eales coming up with an important catch. There's the roll. Johnson and Rodber trying to stop it. Back it comes, Gregan. Little chips. Well done, Dowie Morris again. He couldn't gather it in, but he stopped Liner doing so. Australia, though, had the put in at the scrum.
Half-back play of the highest quality, though. Beautiful chip from Michael Liner. Dowie Morris, what a hero. He dived on that ball, and he really saved the day.
Well, he's already got a very painful blow on the leg, and now it's his back.
If this turns out to be Dowie Morris's last game of rugby, I think he'll remember it.
He is playing every game as if it's his last. And he said, of course, he's going to retire after this World Cup. tremendous effort for him. This is his fourth spell, as it were, as England's first choice scrum half. Lost his place twice to Richard Hill, and then again. Through the middle comes Damien Hill. Damien Smith, sorry. And Australia getting on an ominous drive here. England have got to stop it and come up with the ball. And England get the scrum. Australia, they're fatally not getting the ball down.
You may find that big number 8 figure had a lot to do with that one, John. He clamps that ball so well, and Australia couldn't get it to ground. That was a crucial decision, and it's gone England's way.
Coming up to 30 minutes gone. Australia leading 22-19. Mopingawi off the side of the scrum. Big kick from Cat, he hasn't found touch. Burke putting it back into the England half, but that's a poor kick. Now, is this the break that England needed?
And Gary Morris is also running touch. He's telling Colin Hawke it was 5 yards further forward.
Absolutely crucial that England come up with this ball. And again, we'll see their mood from what they do with it. The catch by John Eales in the middle. Two-handed. Crowley with the kick. Tony Underwood hoists it. And McCall got an arm round his shoulder. Eales is knocked down. And a safe touch from Liner. Desperately tight, but England suddenly finding themselves short of quality possession.
Yes, they must win the throws on their own line out. They've been doing it all the first half. A couple of times this half they've had the throw and they've either mistimed the jump or it's gone to Eales, but somehow Eales have come up with the ball on 2 or 3 occasions that have been absolutely crucial.
That time taken by Bayfield. We got the drive on 2. Now seeking to lay it back. There it comes. Morris just putting it in front of his forwards. Oh, Eales again. Pulling. Ben Clark penalised. Just trying to pull a player away from the ball. And Australia, yet another penalty.
Can't afford to do it. It's absolutely killing them. Nice chip from Dowie Morris, but well taken by John Eales.
Poor kick from Liner, saves them. Back it goes into the 22. Burke now running it out. Tony Underwood takes it cleanly and goes through the midfield. Martin Johnson. He gets it down. Penalty to England. Somebody immediately on the wrong side to stop that coming back. And there it was, David Wilson, the flanker.
Well played, Tony Underwood. Isn't it nice to see people running back these high kicks for a change rather than just have an aerial ping-pong? Tony had the confidence to do it, and England certainly benefited.
Mike Cat now being given the responsibility of finding the touch, and he's done it. On the 22, England's throw at the line out. Coming up to 33 minutes gone.
This has got to be on the button. Go for Bayfield, make sure he puts it there. Bayfield will get it 9 times out of 10.
Well, England redressing the possession balance somewhat, but still behind Australia in this half, and that's been the all-important thing. Johnson getting out over the top. Wide to Guscott, out to Ben Clark, trying to hammer through the middle. He set it up. Morris, back it comes. There's some space on this side. Guscott. Tony Underwood going back in the middle. England have it. Dowie Morris trying to wriggle free. Tony Underwood again. Sets it, that's a good layback. Cat, Rob Andrew. He's caught by Little. England a little indecisive there. But importantly, they've got the ball. Back it comes. Mike Cat, no. Hooks it horribly.
When you try a drop goal, you're either hero or you're a villain.
David Campese just taking the opportunity to waste a little bit of time. Five and a half minutes left. Liner just putting it back into the England half. That's a good kick from Cat. Wrestling, trying to free that ball from Burke's grasp. And they've got it. Brian Moore now coming away. And a penalty almost in front. Driving in from the side of the maul. Suddenly the English flags in the air again.
And how would you like to take this one, John? Tension mounting, unbelievable. Rob Andrew, what must he be thinking? But to be fair, England deserved that one. They had good control for a period of 2 or 3 minutes there. And you see it, Australians coming in from the side.
Almost coming in from the back. England going forward. And the Australians seem to be joining their side of the ruck. Crucial kick, obviously. Looks easy from there, doesn't it? And it is. Rob Andrew keeps his concentration. And England are back level.
Just had to happen. This game was never going to be over. When that fat lady starts singing, we'll know the final score. But until then, John, it's all tension.
Bayfield, but Clark gathered in the tap back. No offside there because it was open play. Morris gets the kick up. Burke again catches. The two fullbacks have done sensationally well. Lovely roll over by Carling, but again the referee ruling that the fullback hadn't had a chance to run. Carling getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on, making some big tackles and vital little punches through the middle. Australia holding it in, back to Liner, trying to run it, the loop. Smith through the middle, but well tackled. England have the scrum. Under 3 minutes to go. If we do have to go to extra time, it's 10 minutes each way. It's another well-placed kick away to Campese, and he's just hoofed it a mile downfield. Cat lets it bounce. Eel saves it. Oliver Hengawi's brought down. Campese putting it high. England forwards under this one. Dewi Morris comes away, knocked down by Wilson. And England have the scrum. Every scrum decision, every decision that affects possession at the moment, absolutely vital to both teams. England in their own half had to have that one. Rob Andrew. Poorest kick he's made probably all day. And Smith puts it into touch on the 22. England now have to come up with the line-out ball.
both sides realise they cannot be within 40 metres of their own post, because it will be so crucial if either side gives away a penalty. The way Liner and Andrew are kicking this ball, with the final nail in the coffin, they've got to get out of their own 22-metre line.
Tim Gavin, the man who missed the 1991 World Cup, Victor Obogu, just taking the chance to suck in the oxygen. We're into the last minute on the clock. Bayfield, and a little knock forward, so Australia have the scrum.
And what are your odds, John, for a drop goal? I think Michael Lyon will be looking at this. He'll be wiping his trusty right boot.
And England lining up, but they go for a backroom move. Gavin, England mustn't give away a penalty. Liner trying to get it through. Can England stop them getting the ball down? No, they can't. Back it comes. Gregan, back to Campese. And even that won't go right for him. Into the dead ball area. Tony Underwood kicks it dead, and England have a 22 dropout. 40 minutes up.
I was amazed. I thought Lynham must have gone for the drop goal there. Campo, right decision, but the wrong guy to kick it, I suggest.
I'm sure the players asking the referee. Andrew putting it long. Gregan's out there on the touchline. He's trying to put it back. And the mark given. The referee happy. Everybody's hard in their mouths there in case Gregan was given a penalty. Into touch. Nearly a minute of overtime played, and if we go into extra time, there's that hit that was ruled not a penalty. If we go into extra time, there'll be a 5-minute break, and then 10 minutes each way. Australia have it from the line out. Arthur Hengawi. Now England mustn't stray offside. Little can't get through. Penalty to England.
Pity, I think it's just outside his range, John. I think he might be having to go for goal.
Jason Little hasn't found any space at all in the midfield. The defence there has been superb. Brian Moore on the floor, hauling himself to his feet. That must go into touch. It's a good kick. Time for one more line out now. If a penalty is awarded, England are in range.
Off the top, Rob Andrew high ball, win the ruck and maul, drop a goal.
Two-handed catch, they get the drive going. First bit's done. And Australia now won't dare to come in from the side and bring that down. Back to Rob Andrew. Well, he struck it. It's over! Unbelievable! Rob Andrew! Well, he's been a hero for England on a few occasions, but never more than that. The Australians drop out so quickly. Back goes the ball into their 22. Now Burke has got to run it back. They know they're well into injury time. 3 minutes gone. Arthur Hengawi bringing those knees up, desperately just trying to get the play back into England's half. What a strike from Andrew. Reagan, they've got to stop them. Little into the England half. The next time I think the whistle goes, we must see the final whistle go. Rodber. It clings onto him. They daren't give it away. Rodber trying to lock it up and lay it back for England. He's done it. Carling saying, just get it down there. It's a great kick, and that's it! England have beaten Australia. Brian Moore going mad. Who can blame him? Incredible disappointment for the Australians, but what a moment for England. They knew they could do it. They said they were confident. And to win it in that way, Rob Andrew, who's been the man who's kept the side together for the whole tour, does it yet again. It really was an incredible drop goal from fully 40 metres. Jason Leonard going to see Ewan McKenzie. So the defending world champions are defeated. The jubilation all around the ground from the England supporters. It looks now completely St George's crosses everywhere. And there we are, posing for photographs. Great moment for England. Tony Underwood, who scored the try in the first half. And the England captain, Will Carling, who played such a big part with that midfield defence. A happy bunch of boys. They started slowly. It was difficult for them, but they've really got things rolling now, and they move on to the semi-finals. Scotland against South Africa coming up, and that's the opponents for England come from that semi-final. The crowd all singing Swing Low. The final score, England 25, Australia 22.